Once upon a time, there lived a woman called Madame Miracle. They called her Miracle long before the name fits. She was small. She was in her late 30s. No husband, no child. She had little money. She had big dreams. She started a home church under a trampoline on Irewole Street. There was a puddle when it rained. Goats passed. She used a wooden crate for a pulpit. She borrowed small loudspeaker. The first Sunday, 5 people came. The next Sunday, 7 people came. Then more and more. She stood on the crate and spoke plain. We start with what we have, she said. God bless the small. People liked her voice. They liked how she spoke from hearts. There was no big building. We will give what we have. We will pray and we will open our hands, Mama Miracle said. Small things changed. Madam Miracle wanted more for the people. She wanted a real roof. She wanted a small shelter for widows. She wanted a class for children in the church. But she had no money. The church was small. She prayed. One Sunday, she went to a big church. Esther had a big church. This woman had a fine building and many people. This woman was older and stronger, a founder like Madam Miracle dreamed to be. Esther's church had lights and flowers. The people had polished shoes. Esther, welcome Madam Miracle. Esther smiled and hugged her. She said, "You are doing good work here. Come more. I will help you." Madam Miracle felt hope. She thought, maybe now the shelter will come. Later that night, Esther asked to meet her. "Come to my office," she said. "We need to talk." They walked through the dark to a small house behind the big church. Esther said there was someone who could help. He knew how to open doors, she said. Madam Miracle should have walked away, but Esther was kind. And she wanted to hear more of what she had to say. She went. They walked through a small yard to a hut with smoke. Inside were old pots and leaves. There were low fire, and herbalist sat there. His hands moved like someone who knew all things. The herbalist spoke to Esther. It smelled of roots and rain. He said softly. They called him an older man who sat in the dark. People called him Paye. Some in the town said Paye was dead. No one had seen him in years, but he was alive and old, sitting quiet like a broken statue. Paye had a strange face. His eyes were quick. His voice was thin. He did not come to Madam Miracle's small church. He had never been there before. Yet, he knew about the tampoli and the wooden crate she used in her church. He had heard about women who helped poor. Paye did not smile. He tapped a small bead in his palm. You want people to come. You want to help the widow. You want to have a good roof in your church. We can open door for you. But we will ask for one small thing. The herbalist had given her one clear rule. Never let a hunchback person into the church. If an hunchback goes in, things will fall apart in the church. Madam Miracle agreed to this rule. Madam Miracle looked at Esther. Esther nodded. Esther had a gentle face, but her eyes were cold that night. Madam Miracle felt the weight of hope and hunger at her chest. Paye gave her a charm, a cloth with black beads. All this, Paye said, speak the words we teach. People will come, doors will open. Madam Miracle took the charm. She held it to her chest. She trusted Esther. She trusted the big church. She trusted the man called Paye. The next morning, the church was full. In 6 months, the Tampoli church grew into a real building. The roof was new. Chairs lined up. The sign read, Church of Mercy, Pastor Madam Miracle. The radio called her prophet. The shelter opened. People came from far just to receive a miracle from her. But Madam Miracle did not forget Paye's rule. Madam Miracle told the ushers to check the gate. For weeks, the rules work. No one with hunchback was allowed to enter into the church. The church kept growing. When Madam Miracle prayed, with the dark power bead wrapped under her palm, she closed her eyes and said words. She chants. She called names that shouldn't be known. She started to see into future. They called her Madam Miracle. She could tell her husband where his wife's money was hidden. She could tell his son where his father had gone. She blessed women. The church fed many. People gave gifts. The shelter filled with food. The future felt bright. But power asks for a price. It always does. One hot afternoon, Esther, from the big church, came to visit. Esther sat in the front row and watched Madam Miracle prayed. After service, Esther walked up like someone who owned the ground. You did well, she said. The bead worked. We told you it would. There will be more. Madam Miracle, when she's left in thought alone, she still remembered the rules. But sometimes at night, she felt hollow place inside her. After that miracle grew, in 6 months, she was known in the entire city. People came with their problem. She told them things they did not ask. She read their life like a book. The town called her an oracle. Then, one day, a man with a hunchback came to the church. He walked slowly, and his face looked tired. People moved away. They were unusual. He walked all the way to the front, without a single usher seeing him. The church was full that Sunday. People sat at the back, by the window. The ushers were busy with the crowd. No one saw him walking in slowly. He sat in the front row, right where everyone could see. No one stopped him. The ushers were busy. They did not look his way. Then, time came for Madam Miracle to preach. She walked to the pulpit, with the evil bead wrapped under her palm. The church grew quiet. The hugging stopped. As she began to pray, the hunchback man looked at her. At first, he saw only a woman. Then, her eyes widening, her face changed. The crowd didn't see what he saw. Not yet. He saw a scale where her skin should be. He saw a long snake shape under her dress. He saw a cobra head rising behind her shoulder. His mouth opened. He could not keep quiet. Look! That one cry was like a stone thrown into water. People turned to look. For a moment they saw nothing. Then the first woman screamed, "Oh my God, she's a snake!" One by one, their eyes changed. What the hunchback man saw spread in their mind. Where Madam Miracle stood, they saw a black and white scale shining. They saw the long snake body coiling under the pulpit. The church filled with fear. People rose from their seats. Mothers grabbed their children. Men pushed towards the door. Chairs fell. The hymn died in the air. The church shook with noise. Madam Miracle kept her hands on her evil bead. For a moment, she did not understand. Then she looked down. She saw a scale on the floor. Her voice broke. The bead fell from her hand and rolled away. The crowd ran. They ran to the pulpit. They ran from the woman they called Miracle. The hunchback man watched them go. His smile laughed lost in the noise. The church was empty fast. Fear filled the place where faith had once stood. The town called her a witch. They threw stones at the gates. Men from other places came to see the snake woman. People stopped sending their children on errand. The shelter closed. Friends turned away. Radio show talked about her fall. Madam Miracle ran. She could not stay where people saw her. She ran into the bush behind the city. She wrapped herself in leaves. The scales spread along her skin and felt like cold fire. She called Esther, who brought her to Pai. Esther did not answer her phone. She went to the big church. The doors were closed. Days passed. The people in the town told stories with many changes. People said she had used money to buy a new life. Others said the hunchback man was a bad person. But she was in the bush. The forest swallowed her. No one followed her there. Everyone stayed away from her. That night, she sat under the tree, her face in her hand, her body itched with change. She looked at her harp and saw shiny black and white scale with her skin that has once been fresh. Madame Miracle wept. She remembered the small church she once had. Just a canopy, wooden bench, simple song and honest prayer. She remembered the joy of preaching with a pure heart. Now, all was gone. The crowd, the miracle, the fame, all gone. Only the snake body remained. In the dark bush, far from people, Madame Miracle whispered to herself, I should never have touched dark power. I should never have traded truth for lie. And so, Madame Miracle lived in regret, from church founder to outcast, from preacher to serpent. This is the end of the story. The moral of the story is clear. When power does not come from God, it will surely destroy the one who carries it. Madame Miracle sought fame through darkness, but in the end, darkness swallowed her. Shortcuts may shine for a moment, but only trust and patience will last forever. Thank you so much for watching this story. Do not forget to like, comment your thoughts, and lastly, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next time.